Hey there guys, and welcome to The Lonely Conversation. This is my first YouTube video, and so what I wanted to do with this YouTube video is essentially give you guys a bit of background, a bit of information into who I am, what this channel is, why I started the channel, and then where I kind of plan on taking this channel for however long it lasts, we'll kind of see. So let's get into it without further ado. So I'm 23, I've gone through the whole standard UK education thing where you go through school, you go to college, you get your A-levels, you go to uni. I actually stayed an extra year at uni and went and got a master's as well, which was fun, definitely worth it. And then went into kind of some part-time employment, etc. Got involved with a few projects and now just in work, which is, absolutely fine for me. I also do a lot of sport, always have done, always will do, I think. Sport has been a big passion of mine. When I was younger, I used to do highboard diving until I found out that I was scared at heights when they asked me to go up to the highest board and I just flat out refused. I was like, nope. So found out I was scared of heights, so kind of gave that up really. Then went into trampolining for a little bit, so it was a bit of a crossover, it was kind of similar. But the problem with that is just didn't really feel my kind of real need for like activity. It was okay. It was just a bit of a hobby thing rather than a real sport. And then through secondary school, I found myself loving athletics, and I'm now in athletics. I travel around the country for that, competing for myself and for my club, which is pretty cool. One of the things with that though is I have a huge amount of dead time in a car, driving to training, driving to work, driving to competitions. I have a huge amount of just dead time where, there's not really much you can do when you're driving because you've got to drive. But it's a time where I really like to reflect on things that have happened to me, and think about those topics, deep topics, philosophical topics, psychological issues, cultural events. So I kind of think about all of these things and almost have a dialogue in my own head. I'm quite a sociable person. I really like discussion. I really like having those meaningful discussions and, speaking to people. But I'm also not a sociable person in the sense that I'm quite shy if I'm out with people I don't know. I'm not really the sort of person that's just going to go up to some random on the street and say, hey, how you doing? Not overly good at kind of making friends, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of sociable, but not sociable. And so I thought, you know what? Why don't you start a YouTube channel, put your thoughts in a video, have a discussion with people that are going to watch the video, and then if they want to talk anything, they can comment back or whatever. And maybe I'll end up connecting with a few people, helping a few people, and seeing what happens. So essentially, if you're watching this, you're just watching me, watching this channel, you're just watching me blabble shit for however long my videos are. They're not going to be kind of real scientific type stuff. It's try and make things, just a conversation as if two mates would have in a pub. Just I'm sat at home talking to my laptop, which sounds really, really bleak. But we'll see how it goes. So some of my kind of inspirations for YouTube and my inspirations for doing this is I always wanted to be part of YouTube ever since it kind of exploded in like the early 2010s. That's when I really started watching it. I was just a kid back then, and I started watching all the kind of gamer type YouTube stuff, your classic KSI, all of that stuff. These kind of big YouTubers at the time that were just posting videos of them playing video games. And initially I was like, yeah, I could do that. And then I realized I was absolutely dog shit at video games. I was like, no one's going to watch this. So I couldn't really do that. But since then, I've always wanted to be on YouTube. I just never really knew what to post about. I wanted to be original. I wanted to do something that maybe other people aren't doing as much of. And this idea of just having a conversation, almost vlogging, but without the vlog aspect and just doing it as like a diary entry at the end of your day and then posting it on YouTube really kind of appealed to me. I was like, I don't think enough people get their thoughts out there and have their thoughts heard. A lot of people, they think about things over and over and over and over, and they're almost trapped inside their own head with their own thoughts. And I became a little bit like that. And I thought, you know what if I just post my thoughts, get my thoughts out there in some kind of format, other people can watch it, other people can view it, and maybe there's a discussion there. Maybe people enjoy what they're seeing. If not, people are just going to give me a load of shit. And that'll be fun. So we'll see how it goes. Now, some people that I regularly watch, regularly listen to, regularly kind of read, Jordan Peterson springs to mind. I really, really like that guy. I think he's the way that he talks is fantastic. The topics that he talks about are brilliant. His book is amazing. And so I draw a lot of kind of inspiration from him, because I think he's talking about the right things and talking about them in the right way. Along with that, you've got all of those kind of guys, Sam Harris and people like that. Sometimes it's fun to watch, Sam Harris destroys or Ben Shapiro destroys compilations on YouTube, but I'm not really into that. I'm much more into kind of a meaningful discussion as opposed to just having like an argument and almost trying to just derail somebody else's argument and belittle them. I'd rather have a discussion and almost try and help somebody. Now, I mean, yeah, I'm 23, I'm young, but I feel like I've got a fair bit of life experience. I've gone through, we've all been through a fair amount of tough times. And so I think I've got a fair amount of life experience. I'd like to maybe try and get some of that across in some of my videos as well. And maybe give some people some advice on how to change certain aspects of their life, how to improve certain areas of their life. Because we can all learn from each other. That's my biggest motto. We can all learn from each other. If you're speaking to someone, if you're in communication with someone, if you're watching somebody on YouTube, there's always something you can learn from that video, from that book, from that conversation. There's always something you can take away, something you can learn from that. And I think if there's more people that are posting thoughts, more people that are posting advice, most of it is probably going to be pretty dross. But even if 1% of that advice is good, that's still a huge amount of good advice that's coming out there if you've got millions of people posting advice. So we'll see how that goes. But this was just a quick little intro video to give you guys an introduction to the channel, why I'm here, what I'm doing, what I'm planning on doing. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you do think you're going to enjoy the content, or if you've watched this and any of my other videos since you enjoy, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Also, a like is greatly appreciated, and I'll see everyone in the next video.